Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Elsie Coe. Happy Sunday. Today, I'm bringing back a guest, Dr. Tiffany Weakley. Hi, Tiffany.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for being here. We're doing things a little bit differently today. I want to have Dr. Weakley here because we're going to be talking about her coaching experience with me, learning the material from my mentors. And my basic mentors are Bob Proctor and Mary Morrissey, but they have mentors themselves, and these concepts go back generation after generation. And what Tiffany has done in just a short period of time is phenomenal, and I want her to share that with you. Tiffany, thank you so much. I'm glad. Thank you for letting down your guard and letting everyone know here, because I think, and would you agree that physicians in general, we are hesitant and reluctant to trust any kind of coaching. And I want you to talk a little bit about that. How did you get involved in this, and why did you feel that you had the faith to go forward?
My roles are medical staff president. I'm president of a startup ACO, and I do clinical work with patients as well in the office. And I am a national marketing director with Neora. So that is a lot of leadership roles in lots of different capacities. What I found was I was getting stuck, and I think it was my mindset. I wanted to know how to move forward. How could I lead a medical staff on some tough issues? How could I harness the vibe of an e-commerce team to help them move forward? And so I'm searching around on social media, and I am fully aware that administrators of hospitals have corporate coaches and things like that. And so that was my moment. And then I found you on social media, and we had an interview on the phone, and it seemed like some good chemistry or a good match. So I found you on social media. You resonated with me because you seemed like, you know, you put yourself out there as what you are. You're a hospital leader, and you broke through some glass ceilings. And you were somebody I wanted to align with, because I did learn that you are the summary of the people that you surround yourself with. Right. So if you're thinking laws of attraction, you attracted me.
That's right. That's right. So Tiffany, what was your before and your after, and what are you doing now? So just give us a little bit of that so people understand.
Okay. So before, when I started, I sort of felt locked. I needed to unlock. I didn't have a name for the things that I was going through before. It's sort of like driving without a map. And what I noticed with your coaching was that the things that I experienced, those destinations, had a name. Like there's one, the terror barrier. That was a big aha moment. That had a name. And then when it has a name, there's actually a plan for that. And that's what I learned. And then once I implemented that, that's kind of how you go through the process and create your after. And so my after right now is that I have decreased my clinical work to part-time. So I have a little bit of time freedom, because actually what I needed was time to do the physician leadership, some ACO leadership, and the e-commerce that I'm doing. It's still quite busy because the pandemic turned everything upside down, but I was really set up to succeed with that. So I have time freedom, but also in my e-commerce side gig, people who joined subsequent to me, I have helped lead them to big ranks. So there's nothing more gratifying than watching somebody even, exceed you, and you mentored them. So sort of like passing that mentorship torch, lighting their spark.
Tiffany, that's amazing. So I want to understand a little bit more. I remember when we were working together that you had not yet made that decision to decrease your clinical hours. Was that a terror barrier there?
100%.
Yeah.
When you tell you have this dream, doesn't everybody have a dream, a little bit of fantasy of like maybe not going to work today? and it's okay. Like you didn't call in sick; it was just planned that way.
Right.
So it took about 6 months, I think, into the coaching where I wrote the letter to my employer, and I followed all the rules of the contract and gave them what I wanted or 6 months notice.
Right. And
That was tough.
I remember that. And it's funny, someone from the outside might say, "What's the big deal writing that?" But it's what you've been doing. It's been years of your work and everything that you've been working for. And as physicians, we go down this unilateral path. We only know what we know, and we study so hard. We work so hard to get this career, but then we're not thriving other ways in our lives. We need to be the leaders of our lives. So that's what you did. You took it the step further and say, "Hey, you know what? I'm not really happy with the way I am living. Let me think about how many times do we step back and say, how do I really want to live? What do I really want to do?" And a lot of the people who come to me, they want those answers. They're not really sure what the next step is and how to even go about doing it and having the courage to do it. So
I
you did
think it
that.
feels selfish for
Yeah.
some of us.
Right. We're supposed to be giving up our lives for the good of mankind, but
But if
that's not
you,
all that is,
there's
right?
another side of the coin where if you're not showing up to the job that you love or your calling, because for a lot of people, medicine's a calling, and if you're not showing up the way that you wanted to, you're not honoring that part of yourself.
Absolutely.
And
You're not.
so,
You're going to burn out. And
exactly.
a lot of us,
Yeah.
40 to 50% of are burnt out. If we're not,
Yes.
um, and that's what my leadership coaching is about. It's not about just getting a leadership position, because I don't want people to think, "Oh yeah, I don't want to be chief medical officer, so I don't need that." But it's learning to be a leader of your life in every way. And you've stepped up. Just tell us a little bit about what you've done, knowing how to, knowing the things that we went through together in the program. What have you done as a medical leader? That might be, was your before and after with that? Because I know you've been doing a lot of stuff, Tiffany, during COVID
Yeah,
times.
I've been a mask mandate for our local county commission and sort of butted heads with some politics. But what have I done differently? I would say my communication style is different. I'm not afraid to communicate. I think before I was a little afraid to reach for medical staff. It's like it's an email list of 700 people. Now, granted, a lot of those people might be, um, remote people who aren't here, but so our core staff might be a few hundred. But I was sort of afraid to reach out to them. I didn't know if it would reach them because who looks at their emails. But so if I took the mask mandate, I really had to corral the medical staff and communicate with them what was happening on our like local level and how they could empower them to send the email to the commissioners, give them the email list. I had to work with administration to make sure that was okay to tell their employees, go send something to the county. And it took a lot of, so I became less afraid to communicate on both sides, the
I saw
administration
you.
and the medical
Yeah,
staff.
you were on the local news too.
Yes, that was also out of the comfort zone because you're always afraid that something will be taken out of context.
Hmm.
But you take the leap because what's right is right is right.
Yep.
And what I found was in doing so, the more I did that, the more I communicated and empowered people, the more they were willing to do it, the more they followed me, and the more we were able to affect change.
So good.
And so it builds trust. You have
Yep.
to be somebody that people know, like, and trust. And communication is 51% of that, maybe more.
So how also I know that's so good, Tiffany. So what have you done as a leader in Neora too? So Neora, explain first of all, Neora is a very special skin product
Yeah,
that
so we're
actually I started using because of you, thanks to you.
no
But
problem.
tell them, and then tell us just a little blurb about what that is, and then what you've done as a leader in Neora for your sales team that has made a difference.
Um, Neora is an e-commerce business. You have a brand partner like me or like somebody you might already know has a referral link. I call it like the Macy's Friends and Family link. And you go to your friend's referral link and you can browse and shop. And you order directly and it comes from a warehouse. Everything's made in the USA. One
Hmm.
product Korea because of their advanced technology. But the reason I had started that weird little dream, like I didn't have a vision 5, 6 years ago. I just love the product because they have an exclusive partnership with the biotech on Princeton's campus, Signum Biosciences, that has about 8 or 10 million in NIH grant funding. So literally, those ingredients are, and they're plant based. So they're these botanical smart weapons with NIH funded science.
So what has this business done for you, Tiffany? What was your before and after in terms of your financial success in this business before and after you've had some coaching with me?
Okay, well, I have to make a disclaimer that any direct sales representative in any company cannot make a lifestyle claim and they cannot make an income claim. So I want to speak generally, not because I'm being coy. It's just it breaks those rules of compliance. However, I would honestly tell you that you can already see a trend in e-commerce right now, right? How much
Right,
online ordering are you doing? And
right.
how much are people drawn to personal care products, skin products, wellness products that actually will work, hair care products? And so, like other companies, Neora's e-commerce business is doing very well.
But even
Yes,
before COVID, you had a before and after, and you would send us, through the group text, like, "Bam, this happened to me." Just tell us a little bit about that. And I know you're even thriving even more now, and
right,
I'm sure it's not just the COVID and people being ordering online. I mean, no e-commerce is taking off, but there's
right.
something about you inside internally that has changed, that has made such a big difference in your success.
Well, I think it's the self confidence that I have, and there are a lot of physicians within Neora, and I did a little poll kind of among them. And one of the things that they loved was they love the community and the income and the self confidence. And
Yep.
the same goes to me as well. I think it's my self confidence that is helping pull not just myself, because just like medicine, this e-commerce business is other centric.
Yeah.
And so the idea is you're helping other people come along. In your training, there's a training on leaving the impression of income.
Yep.
And that's what we pass along to each other and to our networks of people. You want to leave
Right.
an impression of increase.
Right.
And so I'm not sure if that answers your question.
No. So what is your before and after? I mean, if you don't have to tell us exactly how much, but did you did you increase your sales by double, by triple, by single? How much did you surprise yourself? What was
Yes,
your
I've
results?
totally surprised myself. I would say business, even let's say during yes, one of the things this business does, if you stick with it, is it does start to duplicate and things start to double over time. And even if you reach a stagnant point, if you put in and show up every day, consistent effort, pleasant, good mindset, it will start to increase. And that was explained to me from the beginning, though I didn't believe it. And I stayed here and I watched it do it. And it's even done it during the pandemic. There are I think perhaps one of the biggest months was August, when people were super stressed about school and lots of distraction. And I would say business has, from March to August, in our particular team, doubled. And the disclaimer is that that's not going to happen for everybody. It's not a promise. Just for
Oh
those
yeah,
reasons,
yeah. I
I
don't
had to
know,
say that.
but I'm saying it's individual to you too.
Yes, it's individual
And
to
if you
me.
don't
Yes.
have the like you said, your sense of self and your courage and your confidence has changed. I see it too, Tiffany, and
And
that's
I
why
thank
you're
you
able
for
to
that.
step forward. Oh, and you know what? You're so welcome. But a lot of it's the material, learning the material that's been passed from generation to generation,
It's like you get the map
and
of secrets.
exactly. And I think as physicians, we need to learn to let down our guard a little bit in
I
order
think
to
you're allowed
thrive.
to be multifaceted.
Yes, yes.
And I had
We're
to think through that. Like I'm allowed to be more than a physician, all these other things. Be
You
multifaceted.
know, you
When
know,
was the last time I
I
did
think
something for me?
most physicians that I run into, and most physicians that I talk to, have multiple talents, have hidden talents, have hidden passions, and we're not always doing exactly what we should be doing, and we
So
don't
much
realize that. We
untapped
feel so
potential.
stuck, right? And I see the creativity when I asked on my closed Facebook group, and if you scroll down, what is your creative side? And it's amazing what people show.
And
So
imagine,
how can we combine some of what we're doing right now with our passions? And when I wrote down my list, and I would show my clients exactly how to do this and how to come up with what it is that's meant for you to do, so that you too can thrive like Tiffany is.
and it does
She's
take time. It's not one meditation. It's not one meditation or one, journaling episode.
right.
A lot
Yep.
of quiet time
Yep.
and
So
reflecting.
yeah. So Tiffany, can you, as we conclude, and thank you for this quick call on Sunday morning, and
It's fun to dress up.
yeah.
Thanks.
uh, and thank you for giving the products, because it's keeping me young at 52.
Pull
52
it
or
up a little bit.
51. Oh, I think I'm 51 still.
I'm 46,
Oh,
or
there
I will
you
be
go.
46.
Yeah, I love that firm cream. But what do if people reach out, message you for any
Of course.
information if they're
Yeah.
okay? Thank you
And
so
we have
much. I
free
appreciate
samples of stuff. Nobody has to pay for a sample to try anything like that. Or if anybody is a
it.
physician leader and they want to, unpack some baggage about what's happening,
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
happy to mentor people with that too.
And I also want to let you guys know that my launch group is growing phenomenal, and they are helping me deal with some of the glitches in the beginning. But I am going to start my new group in December. So in the beginning of December. So if you're interested, just go on to leadphysician.org. Okay. And I will be there are people with different budgets in this group, without a doubt, right? Physicians with different budgets, and you're trying to learn how to have multiple streams of income. You're trying to be a leader in your job. You're trying to have it all, whatever it is. Um, there's a program for you. So I want you to go on to leadphysician.org, not com, .org, O-R-G, and just put your name, email, and name so you could be on the wait list. And you can also reach out to me so that we can have a quick one-on-one for you to understand, for me to understand you a little bit and what you're trying to accomplish, to see if it's a good fit. Tiffany, it was so great to have you, and I'm so glad that you're still helping to participate in the group, and you do give some inspirations to my existing group right now by going on there and sharing your wins. There's so many wins that you guys can have, and you don't have to live the life that you're having now. If you feel like you're that person, please reach out to me, okay? All right, Tiffany, thank you so
Happy
much.
Sunday. Thanks for having me.
Okay, okay, take care.